But now, One Direction were recently forced to delete a social media request for fans to send images of their tattoos after accusations that they were encouraging their young fans to have body art.
Well, a spokesman for the band said the tweet was posted in error. He also added that One Direction do not want to encourage any of their fans to get One Direction tattoos.
But today we're asking, are celebrities with tattoos bad role models? It's not just One Direction. Rihanna, Justin Bieber and Cheryl Cole are all fans of body art, to name but a few.
Well, X Factor's Katie Waissel thinks that tattoos are works of art and that celebrities who have them are not a bad influence.
Katie Hopkins, on the other hand, thinks they are. She says that when you're young and impressionable, you'll do anything to be like your idol. If you have a tattoo, you will never be a high achiever.
Well, let us know who you are siding with by voting on our interactive worm. You can see that at the bottom of the screen. Just head to our website if you want to play. All right, let's start first of all with Katie Hopkins. If you have a tattoo, you will never be a high achiever. I think One Direction would probably disagree with that.
I think, despite deleting their tweet, so that's obviously been put out in error, but I really think that if you have a tattoo, you have to wonder about what sort of future you've got ahead of you. And as an employer...
I repeat the question. One Direction would say, we have a fine future ahead of us. The tattoos are not doing us any harm.
As an employer, I certainly wouldn't employ somebody that had tattoos. I would worry what my customers would think about them. And I think socially, we still look at tattoos as graffiti. And who wants to see graffiti? We look down on graffiti, we disrespect graffiti, and I think we disrespect people that have body tattoos.
Would you obviously don't
No,
agree
I
with
do
that.
disagree. And also,
Katie, how many tattoos do you have, first of all?
Well, it depends. I mean, I have a couple that you could count as individual ones, but otherwise around 15. With, you know, with regards to your comments and people that you employ, it's like, how would you know if they do have a tattoo when you interview them for a job? It's not like, you know, they're going to show you the cheeky devil they have on their bum. It's, you know, but it's just different. It's different if they have 15 or just say 1, and, you know, it's one of those things where it just depends on what job you're going for and how you present yourself, clothes-wise.
But should it affect... I mean, should a job be affected by how you look? Because that's fundamentally what it comes down to, whether you're saying what you're wearing or whether you have tattoos.
Of course, a job comes down to how you look. And if you have tattoos, yes, it does, Holly. And if you have tattoos, you are clearly placing yourself at a disadvantage compared to other people. You know, for me, and for lots of people like me, when you see tattoos, you think of someone that is just looking for attention, who hasn't managed to find a way in their life through conventional means, and who is just shouting,
but
I want attention, I want to be looked at.
No, not at all, but you wouldn't see my tattoos if I was to come for a job interview. I'd wear my long-sleeve shirt, my suit and skirt and whatever.
But right now, if my children were watching this, they'd be looking at you, and if my children were the sort of people that wanted to be a celebrity, and that's what people say these days, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a celebrity. They look at this as a route to celebrity. They try and copy, they emulate their celebrity idols.
First of all, she's as open as she is now because we're talking about tattoos, and it would be crazy
if
if we were doing this item with a big old shirt on.
She's proud of them.
Would you say that they were graffiti or body art?
No, I'd say that they're body art. Like I was saying earlier, every single tattoo of mine means so much to me, and, you know, different things that I've been through in my life. My grandfather that passed away when I was 10, I mean, most of my whole left side is kind of in remembrance for him.
Most people have a gravestone and some photographs.
Yeah,
I don't
we're trying
think
to
we need to paint ourselves with that sort of thing.
And if my children...
Yeah.
It's very personal.
But you're saying your children. You're talking a lot about your children. My children, if they say they want to be a celebrity, my first thing, if my children said that, would be to say, right, OK, well, you know, that's one aspect of growing up. What does being a celebrity mean? You don't have to copy someone. I mean, you know, I think I would probably be discouraging my children.
Of course you would, Philip. But when I go around the country speaking to students, I say to them, what do you want to be? What is it you're going to be when you grow up? What is it that you're aspiring to be? And about 50% will say, I want to be a celebrity. Now, they think the route to getting to being a celebrity is to do things that celebrities
that's just down to parenting.
Which is things like tattoos. And I fundamentally think that most people out there, as your worm will display later, I'm sure, will show that these tattoos are graffiti.
Katie, would you say, then, it's fine to have a tattoo if you cover it all up?
I mean, it's not something I would encourage. If my children, for example, were to ever have a tattoo, I would say, look, clearly, you're able to fund yourself, you've got money to spare, you don't need me to look after you anymore. It's not something I will support within my own home. And I don't support children, 18-year-olds, I appreciate you have to be, going into tattoo salons and getting these things put on their body. She said this is about her grandfather. I mean, I fail to see how a picture of a woman with half of her cleavage out is about your granddad. I fail to see that,
You don't know the story.
You don't know the
Neither
backstory.
should you. She doesn't need to tell you what the story is.
What
That's
do you
what she does for herself.
No, oh, it's personal.
It's
so
personal
it's so
to me.
personal, it's all the way down her body. That'd be like you having Wigan across your forehead,
But if
Philip,
he
and
wants
telling me
that,
you
what's
don't
wrong
know
with
what
that?
football team. It's not personal, Philip. This is not personal, it's public.
But what's the difference
No.
between, you know, between that and wearing too much makeup or too much lipstick?
Exactly.
I can remove, if you're inferring mine, but I'm sure you're not.
No,
but
I wouldn't
were
be
you
such
to,
an
I could
ungentleman.
remove that at the end of the day. This is something you cannot change. This is something, when she gets married, that arm
I
will
feel
be
like I
there.
should be
This
standing
is
up and
something...
doing a bit of a twirl. Now you're going like, woo.
Katie, is it addictive though? Because people always say when they have tattoos they get addicted. I mean, you saw Harry Styles and he keeps having more and more and more
Yeah.
done. I mean, is there do you think that it's something that might run away with you, for example?
Are you going to get more done?
Well, me personally, yes, but my
Why?
sister, because I enjoy it. And
You enjoy what about it, though?
the art. I'm a big
The
fan of
art.
Kat Von D. She's an amazing tattoo artist.
Most people buy art to
Katie,
put on
what
their
about
wall.
your wedding ring?
What about it?
Well, because you had your tattoo on your wedding finger.
Yes.
So what
I did.
about something like that, for example? I mean,
Right.
you can take a wedding ring off. How does that work?
Is it that? Is that your wedding ring there?
Yes, I had
a heart for
done,
your... And you're
but
not with your husband?
It's just going through a really bad time at the moment, so I really
that.
appreciate it if we didn't
Yeah, no,
speak
no,
about
that's fine.
that.
But no, it's the
Fair enough.
principle of having it
that's the
done, I
only-
think, that Holly's talking
That's the only
about.
reason. Sorry, I just saw it there.
No,
The
What
words
about
just came
ones that you
through, I
want
just
to
saw.
remove, though?
Well, look, you can't, and you know, everything in life you go through, and it happens for a reason, or whatever that reason may be. But you know that I can't remove it. Well, I mean, I can, but I wouldn't want
Isn't
to
that not
because
the point, though?
memory.
Is that not the point
It
I'm
is a
saying? That
memory.
you don't want
You are
people.
right.
You don't want people to have things on their body that they'll regret later, and you have one of those.
Well, I
You
don't
are
know
a
if I'm
living
going to get hit by a
example.
bus by walking out the door. Well, you know, I just don't know.
At least they'd be able to identify you.
That's what my mum says.
It is surely just Kate being really rather mumsy that you're saying that this is what I think. Therefore, looking at your body is offending me in some way. I think
it does.
what someone does with their body surely is entirely their own affair, unless it impinges upon your life. I just want something to say here. There's a worry that society becomes over-sexualised. Furthermore, unable to attract attention through normal channels, wit, intelligence, thought. They use their body art to get a reaction. I think tattoos are tacky is to sum up one of the things that you said. So is that people using it instead of wit and intelligence? She looks intelligent. She's
I
very
had a
witty.
great-
She's an attractive woman.
I had a great
I would
education.
say if you want to get, you know, if you want to attract attention, do it through being verbally creative. Have a lexicon that you can call on that's really fantastic.
I agree with you.
If you want to be creative, do it by having a brilliant scientific brain that you can think of new innovative ideas.
But
do
the-
not do it by painting your body
But the
with stuff that
important-
you will regret later.
I'm not
Bottom
regretting
line here,
anything.
she doesn't regret anything.
No.
But what you
Not
would
even
say,
her
just
wedding ring for
No.
the husband she doesn't have.
No, and we're not going to talk about husbands that we don't have.
No,
thank
no.
you.
I think what I'm going to say is that, just to wrap this up, is to say that I think probably the most important point that you've made here is that as an employer, you wouldn't employ someone with visible tattoos. Now,
Okay.
do you think that that is widespread throughout the country?
Of course it is.
No,
Every
it's not.
employer
I'm
out
sorry,
there that
but
I
there's
work with, the only place,
big
just one
bank
moment,
of
Katie, the
there's
only place
big-
that Katie will get a
There's
job
big
going
traders
forward
in the city
when she
that have
needs
covered.
I was gonna say, don't
when
speak at
she
once.
needs a job later in life, the only place she'll be able to get a job is with people that share her love of body graffiti.
Okay,
you
you
will
can-
not
you can
get a
have a
job.
final
with
Thank you.
tattoos.
Yeah, basically, I completely respect that not everybody likes tattoos, and that's fine. You know, people with tattoos, I'm not personally throwing it in anybody's face. It is.
You think you are?
No,
Okay.
Katie, let her have a say.
But what I will say, look, I completely understand it. If you don't want your children to do that, that's your personal views, and I respect that. But I do have a great education. I've got friends that are high up in the banking industry that work for big, big corporate banks, you know, that are absolutely head to toe in tattoos. You know, even, some of my friends that work in TV, just everything. We've all got little bits of whatever, but that's just for our own personal
Okay,
private...
we'll leave it there, and thank you both
Thank you
very much
both.
indeed for
Thank you. Let's have a look
starting
at
our
our
argument.
worm, first of all. Let's just see, are celebrities with tattoos a bad role model? Yes, agree with Katie, 80%, and no, 82% agree with Katie Waissel. So there you go, and it's pretty much stayed the same all the way through. Thank you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, competition time now.
And I'm pleased that Katie Waissel won that. Can I say that? Good. We've had lots of comments for and against, mainly for, though. We said, are celebs with tattoos bad role models? Rebecca Ellis says, my partner is covered in tattoos and the best role model and father that I could have wished for our daughter. Body art is just that, art. Jane Tyrrell said, I'm a nurse and I have a tattoo. Does that make me a bad role model? And on the against side, Wendy Timpson says, I hate tattoos. I think they look vulgar and silly, and celebs with too much money and free time set a terrible example. If it's for them, then why don't they cover it up in public and have a look on their own time? And Jean Cairn says, I don't like tattoos. I just think that they will look. I just think that what they will look like on the person when they get older, and the tattoos are all wrinkled. That's not very nice to look at, then, is it? Keep them coming in. We'll be back soon.
But what a wonderful way to remember your life. If as Katie did, she's got all those memorable things on her body, then you remember, wouldn't you? Think, oh, I remember that.
I admire people being brave enough to do it, to have that conviction to make up the mind and go, that's what I'm having.
And, of course, all those people, I mean, it's only my own personal point of view. If you're going to criticise someone with tattoos, then I assume that you're thinking that you are totally perfect yourself.
Have a think about that before you criticise, folks.
Right. Right, what's new in the world of fashion? Well, we're